Hello out there, you're watching everything you need to know about Mage Knight board game. We're all the way up to part 14, and as you can see from the basic setup, we have almost everything we need. Our entire player area is set up. We have our day-night board and our fame and reputation board. We have most of the deed cards. The only cards we are missing from our deed cards are the artifacts. And the artifacts are a little bit rarer than the other deed cards. They're a little harder to find and they're played differently. I'm going to give an example. An action card typically has text on the top and on the bottom. And what you would do in an action is you would play the basic effect and resolve it. Or if you have the right color mana, you could play the stronger effect and resolve that. So an artifact's a little bit different. What's going to happen with an artifact is you can either play it on your turn and get this top effect here, this lighter colored effect, or you can get its ultimate effect, which is a one-time only effect. You can play this and resolve the bottom half, and then you remove this card from the game. You don't keep it, you don't get points for it at the end. It's gone once you've resolved its ultimate effect. By the way, when I refer to throwing away a card, like in a deck builder, in Dominion you would trash a card, in Thunderstone you would destroy a card, in some games you would shred a card, in this one you throw away a card. It just means you get rid of it. You put it in a box and you're not going to have it for the rest of the game. So Artifact has an effect you can do once around when you play it. It also has an effect which is used only one time and then it's thrown away. So the first four cards we're going to look at are called banners. Now these aren't necessarily held in your hand. These are going to be assigned to a unit. So what you'll do is when you draw this on your turn, probably the turn after you get the artifact, you are going to attach this to a unit. Okay, you'll basically just set it right next to it like that. Like that's the unit, the artifact would be adjacent to it. And this banner is going to have an effect that applies to the unit. At the end of the round, when you're preparing for the next round, you can choose to discard this card, which means you would take this card off the unit and put it in your discard pile. In the next round, when you get it in your hand, you could play its ultimate effect, or you could assign this banner to a unit. Note that if the banner is assigned to a unit, you cannot play the ultimate effect. The ultimate effect can only be played if you draw it into your hand. If you disband the unit, or the unit gets destroyed, then this goes in your discard pile anyway. You don't lose this artifact if it's assigned to a unit that gets disbanded. So the first one we have is Banner of Glory. It reads, assign this to a unit you control. The assigned unit gets armor +1 and +1 to any attacks or blocks it makes. Whenever this unit attacks or blocks, fame +1. Your attack and block strength is increased by 1, and when you use that ability, you get 1 point of fame. Again, you can put this with any unit you control. You decide who gets it. Now, the ultimate effect of this is the same, except it applies to all your units. So, you could have this in your hand. You could just take it, refer to all your units. All of them get +1 to all their armor and any attacks or any blocks, and you get fame +1 for each unit that attacks or blocks this turn. Then you throw this away. By the way, Tovok really likes banners. Our second banner is called Banner of Fear. Assign this to a unit you control. During the block phase of combat, you may spend this unit to cancel one enemy attack. So instead of using the unit to block, you can just spend the unit and the attack is completely blocked and you get 1 point of fame. Its ultimate effect, and I love this one, this is great for city assaults, up to 3 enemies do not attack this combat. That is really useful when you're fighting like 4 or 5 different enemies in a city. 3 of the attacks don't happen, but then you throw that card away. Banner of Protection reads, assign this to a unit you control. The assigned unit gets armor +1, fire resistance, and ice resistance. Now, as I said before, when you're assigning damage to a unit, if it has resistance, before you wound it, you subtract the armor from the damage that's being dealt. Then you wound it. Then you subtract its armor again. So you're basically taking the attack and cutting it in half. So that's Really, really useful to have. And then increasing their armor +1 basically means that you're going to lose 2 points of the damage you get assigned, because you're going to subtract the armor the first time because it has resistance, then wound it, then subtract it again. So that's basically the same as getting armor +2 if it's being attacked by an enemy that is vulnerable to these resistances. The ultimate effect of this card is at the end of your turn you may throw away all wounds you received this turn. Now, as I said before in the last video, when you get a wound, you want to try to heal it or have a healing effect, which means you can throw it away. And when you throw it away, it just goes back to the wound pile, and you don't have to deal with it anymore. That is Banner of Protection. Next we have Banner of Courage. Assign this to a unit you control. Once a round, except during combat, you may flip this card face down to ready this unit. Again, readying a unit, as we'll explain in the next video about units, means that the unit has been spent, you've used it, and you flip this over, and you take your command token, and you can put it back on top of the card, above it, and you can use the unit again. So that's very, very useful to have. At the beginning of the round, flip it face up again. The ultimate effect of this is you may play this any time other than combat to ready all units you control. And basically, the ultimate effect of a banner just means that it applies its effects to all your units instead of just one. Alright, it's pretty easy to see who's going to want each of these artifacts. I pull the camera way back here and you can tell. Ruby ring, sapphire ring, diamond ring, and emerald ring. You're going to get a mana token and a crystal to your inventory and 1 point of fame. Okay, obviously this is going to be red, blue, white, and green. Arithia wants this, Tovok wants this, Norawas wants this, and Goldix wants this. For sure. The ultimate effect of it is that you have an endless supply of that color mana, and an endless supply of black mana that turn, and you get 1 point of fame for each spell of this chosen basic color that you cast this turn. That's pretty easy to explain, wasn't it? Okay, next we have 2 weapons and 2 endless somethings. The 2 weapons are, we have the Sword of Justice. The Sword of Justice says when you play this, discard any number of cards from your hand. You get attack 3 for each card you discard this way. Fame +1 for each enemy you defeat this turn. The ultimate effect of this is double the contribution of all physical attacks you play during your attack phase this turn. Again, a physical attack is any attack that does not say ice attack, fire attack, or cold fire attack. If it just says attack, it's considered to be a physical attack. Enemies lose physical resistance this turn. So if they had physical resistance and your attack strength was going to be cut in half, that doesn't apply now. Fame +1 for each enemy you defeat this turn. Wow, what a powerful artifact. Horn of Wrath. This is something that Goldix really likes. It gives you siege attack 5, and then you roll a mana die, and if you roll black or red, you get a wound. I've got green, wouldn't get a wound there. The ultimate effect is the same thing. You get siege attack 5. You may add up to 5, +5 to the siege attack. So you could have siege attack 10. But for each +1 you added, roll a mana die. You get a wound for each black or red rolled. So with this, you would say, okay, I have siege attack 10. And then you'd roll this 5 times. And each time you get a black or red, you get a wound. And, well, you got points for getting gold. That would have been nice. Moving on to Endless Bag of Gold. Influence 4, Fame +2. Its ultimate effect is Influence 9, Fame +3. Yeah, Norawas wants that. Endless Gem Pouch. Roll a mana die 2 times. Gain a crystal to your inventory. For each color rolled this way, if you roll gold, you choose the color. If you roll black, Fame +1 instead of a crystal. Its ultimate effect is you gain a mana token of each basic color. Also get 1 gold if played at day, or black if played at night, mana token. So you throw this away, you get mana tokens of all 4 colors, plus either gold or black, depending on if it's day or night. That's one. I think that's one Arithia really likes. Alright. Goldix likes the Golden Grail. Golden Grail says heal 2, and you get 1 point of fame for each point of healing provided by this card you spent this turn. Or you get heal 6 every time you heal a wound from hand this turn, draw a card. So, heal 6. Each wound needs 1 point of healing to get healed. So each point of healing, or each wound that goes away from your hand goes back on the wound deck. You can draw a card to replace it. Very, very effective. Again, Goldix really likes that. Book of Wisdom. Throw away an action card from your hand. Gain an advanced action card from the advanced actions offered to your hand that is the same color as the action you threw away. Really good way to improve your deck. Get rid of a basic card and get an advanced action that's the same color, if there's one like that in the advanced actions offer. The ultimate effect is throw away an action card from your hand. Gain a spell from the spells offered to your hand that is the same color as the action you threw away, and a crystal of that color to your inventory. Very nice. Amulet of Sun. Gain a gold mana token. If played during the night, forests have their move cost reduced to 3. You can use gold mana, and you reveal garrisons of nearby fortified sites and ruins as if it were day. Alright, let me explain that last part. During the daytime, you have visibility, obviously, because the sun's up. If you are adjacent to a site where you can't quite make off in the distance who's guarding it, as you get close enough, that would be 1 space away, you can see who's guarding it, and you know in advance who you're going to be fighting. At night, that doesn't happen because you don't have visibility. Amulet of Sun means that at night, forest costs 3 instead of 5, because you have the Amulet of the Sun, you can see your way through the forest, and you have a gold mana token, which you can use as any basic color, because you have the energy of the sun, and you can see from 3 spaces away, you can see garrisons of nearby sites and ruins, the same as if it were day. In other words, you can flip a ruins token face up, and you can see a garrison from 1 space away. We'll get into that when we get into exploring the map. Finally, we have Amulet of Darkness. This is one that Arithia really likes to have. Gain a mana token of any color. If played during the day, deserts have their move cost reduced to 3, and you can use black mana as if it were night. And the ultimate effect of both these, Amulet of Darkness and Amulet of the Sun, it's the same as the basic effect, except with Amulet of Sun, you get 3 gold mana tokens instead of 1. With Amulet of Darkness, you get 3 mana tokens of any color instead of 1. So those are the 16 artifacts. As you can see, some Mage Knights want some of them more than others, and we're going to leave these up there right next to the wounds. They get shuffled and they go here. We don't put an offer out for the artifacts, by the way, and the reason we don't have an offer is because artifacts are considered to be buried treasure. You have to go looking for them. You would have to explore a ruins or explore an adventure site to find them and get them as a combat reward. Also, if you burn down a monastery, which again will cost you 3 of your reputation, but you will find an artifact there. And what you'll do is you'll draw the top 2 artifacts, you'll select one, and you'll put the other one at the bottom of the deck. So that's everything you need to know about the deed cards. We're now ready to look at units. We're ready to look at the site description cards, the tactic cards, the enemies, and explore the map. And eventually, I assure you, you'll be ready to play. But after you've seen all these videos, you're not going to have any questions about anything regarding this game. So thank you for watching. That was part 14 of everything you need to know about Mage Knight board game. That covered the artifacts. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, GLHF. Good luck. Have fun.